Washington, D.C., our nation's capital and home to the president. The White House is on Pennsylvania Avenue and 16th Street. 2 miles up 16th Street is Bell Multicultural High School. In 2007, our school, Bell, was considered a dropout factory. According to a study by Johns Hopkins University, a dropout factory is a school where 40% of students do not graduate from high school. That is almost the norm in Washington, D.C. Bell was able to turn that around. It is no longer a dropout factory. That's a story we want to tell, but next time. Instead, we're going to another high school, just a few miles down the road, Calvin Coolidge High School.
My school is not safe. It may be safer than other schools, but still, regarding that fact, it's still not safe because there's still lots of fights. There has been some stabbings and shootings in it as well.
And Debussy is a junior at Calvin Coolidge High School.
Social distractions that take me away from school may be like probably some fights or arguments that go on outside the hallway, or whenever I just daze off and I just start fooling around with other people.
And Debussy still attends Coolidge, but we fear he is headed down an all too familiar path in D.C. According to the District of Columbia Public Schools website, only 68% of students graduated high school in 2008, and 72% from 2009. The Department of Education calls those students who do not graduate dropouts.
My attendance in school, I usually arrive late, pretty much every day. Probably 2 days a week I'll be on time. I'll be at school before it actually starts. But any other day I get to school probably around 10 or around 10 o'clock or 9:45.
Miss Laura knows when students have missed a lot of days at school, since she sees it every day.
The lack of attendance progresses the year when the students find out that they are failing, and when the students see they are thinking it's nothing they can do, they are going to repeat the school year, and they decide to drop out.
Lou was one such student.
Well, at first I didn't really want to drop out, but as school, they didn't really want me there due to lots of trouble and skipping so much, and so I just had to get out, guys.
Lou also lives in D.C. and was only 14 years old when he experienced this dilemma. Del McFadden works for a community organization that supports families and youth in violence prevention and intervention. He explains the importance of working students who start skipping school.
Partnerships are incredibly important. So we do partner with the schools here in Ward 1 in our community. We work with the attendance counselors who refer cases to us when they identify that youth are missing a lot of days out of school.
The action that the school take to prevent the dropout is to try to work with the student. What is the situation in the school? What schedule is working for them if they have to work because the family has some economic issues. The another action that we take is to do home visits to find the family and explain to the parent and the student how important is education.
But providing help can be difficult.
Some of the teachers and counselors actually did want me to stay in school because they knew that I could actually successfully get far. But the problem was, they knew the problem isn't it was really hard to fix that because there were so many other students that they were trying to help at the same time.
At Lou's high school, Cardozo, there's one guidance counselor for every 600 students. At N. Debussy's high school, the ratio is not as bad, but is still above the national average.
In some cases, the guidance counselors will pick favoritism and only help the students that they like or they know or that may be related to them or they believe is going to go really, really far in life.
Del says that more resources are necessary.
Some of the issues that we have here in D.C. is really a lack of mental health services tailored for this population. This is a very difficult population, and they really do not agree with mainstream at all. So we definitely need a mental health piece. We also have the drug addiction piece that we need assistance with as well. Students
undergo stress at school. One reason is due to not feeling safe.
Some kids would not go back to school and they tell me, Del, I've had a gun pulled on me multiple times, or I have to make sure I have a ride, or my life is in danger on a daily basis.
Remember what Ndibu said at the beginning of our story?
My school is not safe.
Despite challenges, Dell says many students want to succeed.
I've worked with, I believe, some of the most difficult youth here in Washington, D.C., and providing an opportunity. I think there's no parent or any youth that wakes up and say, I want to be a failure in life. It's just certain opportunities that's not provided because of scarcity of resources.
Like saddened by my own failure to actually get to that point and actually drop out, because I was actually trying to be successful and get through school.
We contacted the DC school system for an interview. They did not respond to our repeated requests. Reporting for Radio Rootz and the NewsHour Extra, I'm Ingrid Avancerone with Khalees Marshall, Kung Ho, George Hernandez, Irvin Agassi, and Johnny Reyes.